Nothing much, nothing much. Good afternoon, good evening. Holy shit, I can't believe it's evening now.
Shoot,
This
man.
is such a pain in the ass. I don't know what the hell took so long, but between the
Yo,
lighting, between the camera, between the audio not working properly before, it took like a solid 30 minutes to get everything officially working. But I'm happy to just get everything working now. Happy to see it on the screen now.
oh man, I saw the camera equipment on your story. I'm like, man, this dude pull out all the stops, man. This dude bringing out some serious artillery.
Yeah, man.
Looks dope though, man.
You're coming out swinging. That's all I gotta say. I've had a lot of plans and everything for the past couple of years. Now it's all about the execution.
That's it, man. That's it, bro. Looking crispy, man. Looking crispy, putting in that work, man.
Facts, bro. Yeah, I mean, I can say the same thing about you, dropping fucking 3 solid pieces last year. Like, I don't know who the hell you think you are, dropping 3 fucking classics back to back just out of nowhere. Like,
Oh,
literally, I was like happy enough that you blessed us with 1 masterpiece I listened to every night, but now you had to drop 2 more, and then literally just took off my entire playlist basically for all of 2020. Like, I can't express it just because of how much of an impact you've had just on the way I've been working, because just seeing that alone was just like enough for me to be like, okay, if he's got 3 solid pieces out there, 3 solid pieces of artwork out there right now, the hell am I doing right now? What the hell am I doing right now? Like, now I gotta kick it into 10 gear right now. Not even keep it a notch. I gotta get a 10 notches to keep it up right now. But seriously, like I can't express
oh,
like
you
how
too
much like
kind.
your music is very influential, but it's also touching. Like there's a lot of songs that you have like Comac Black that really hit home
Yeah,
as far as emotional wise, and you got other songs
yeah, yeah.
that get you dumb fucking hyped. Like when I listen
Yeah.
in my gym playlist, it consists of you, Nipsey Hussle, and J. Cole. That's about it. That's literally who I have on my playlist.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's my
that's
grinder
crazy,
music.
man.
You know, that's my music that literally gets me going, especially when I hear code 10-30 34. Bruh, when that goes
Yeah,
on in the
yeah, yeah,
gym,
yeah, yeah. That, yo.
there's nothing that's stopping me from lifting. Like there's nothing that's stopping me. But enough of my fandom going on over
I'm
here.
grateful just to be a part of
Talk
that
to me a little bit about yourself,
playlist,
man. Talk to
man.
me a little about like how you get everything started. Like I know you from like way back in the day from 7th grade, and I know from back then you started messing around with the bars. But
Yes, sir.
just seeing where you're at now and just the quality of the music you're coming out with, like I got to hear a little bit more about the stories and how everything came into fruition.
Yo, it's crazy to describe because everything's still unfolding. Like it's hard because the breaks haven't been put to it yet, so it's
Jeez.
still ongoing. But yeah, man, just starting out. I've always been a fan of rap, music, hip hop in general. I feel like it's been a part of like just a staple, not only within the culture, but within individuals themselves. So I think that's me. Like it's more for me than entertainment. It's like a catharsis for me. It's a way where I vent. It's a way where I get in touch with people that I don't even know about. So a person can not know me from Adam, but they could listen to my music and know exactly who I am. So that's exactly one of the reasons why I started picking up the pen and started writing. So that's
Right, it's
just
exactly like your music. You literally paint your picture. Like there's the wide variety from going back to King Me when you dropped that first signal,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that vibe was something else. Like that was just some type of crazy energy coming through the damn headphones. And then to end the year off dropping Villa, I gotta say, like that very few albums like really give me goosebumps.
Mm.
And the variety that you go from between slow pace
Hmm.
to really going, I want to say, deep into the artistic views in your, I want to say, talking about your traumas and your past with troubles I've seen.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
and then Summer '03 was a very, very, very beautiful way. You just painted that whole picture. Like lyrically, you hear everything you're talking about. Quarter war, everything. Literally everything you're talking about on there, you're painting the picture and it's sitting through. So, how did you like? It feels like you evolved, even though you just like dropped all three last year. From the beginning where you dropped your music into where you ended off last year, there definitely was a major progression as far as the sound wise. What would you say gave you a little bit more of the creative edge to drop so many of these masterful pieces of art?
Oh man. I think it has to it's gonna sound weird, but I listen to my music like through other people's ears. Like for example, when I start playing music on my own, I always imagine how would it sound to somebody else because it's gonna sound different. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to put myself in other person's shoes. Like, are they gonna be excited? Are they gonna be sad? It really depends on how I'm feeling. So with the first few music, like when I dropped the Basement EP, that was my testing grounds for like what are people feeling, and I noticed people like rocking with my personality as
Yeah,
opposed to when I tried to emulate some of the mainstream rappers. Like I felt like when I stuck to my own pace, even though it wasn't as appealing to the masses, I feel like the few people that it did capture were very loyal to the sound, and that's the kind of sound that I want to provide. So I think when I started getting more in tune with myself and who I was, that's when it started progressing and started hearing it, through other people's ears and the feedback that I've been getting from it. I think that's what because you're not supposed to, like, that's the great thing about the hip hop in general. You're not supposed to, sound the way you were before. Like if people saying, yeah, you sound just like you did, on the last album, you're not doing something right. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You
yeah.
gotta put something to the test. So I think it was just a matter of putting myself in other people's shoes, seeing because like with rap and when you put that, when you choose that kind of area that you want to go into, it's almost like you're a chef. You're not making the food for you, you're making it for other people. So you have to find like the common ground to where you could express yourself but also make it palatable to other people. So that's what just me working out the kinks on that, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and it beautifully said. Just because nowadays you got a lot of artists just putting out music that just to either make a quick buck off of or just to be hot for the moment. What you're making is music that can be played for literally for generations and top of generations, just because
Appreciate
it's
that.
quality stuff that hits home. Like,
Mm.
especially people growing up from the North Side, when you hear a song like News,
Yeah.
like you immediately it hits home. Like you would think of all the times we're growing up, a bodega literally in every single block.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
like
Yeah.
5 blocks away from me, I got about 7 different bodegas that I grew up going to, and it's when you talk about stuff like that, it's another reason why I listen to it, because it's stuff I relate to. It's stuff I literally we grew up together. We've been like we actually literally saw Brentwood go from its major gang infested
Yes.
hard, you can't even be out past when the second
Yup.
like it starts to get dark, when dusk starts to hit.
Hmm.
Now you actually cannot walk around at nighttime without having to feel too on your toes and too
Right.
paranoid.
Exactly.
There's still room
Exactly.
for an improvement, but compared to Brentwood, where what it used to be to where it is now,
No question. No question.
oh, I mean, you remember all the middle school violence that we saw growing up, and then how many times we got
Oh
on
yeah. Oh yeah.
lockdown?
Yeah.
How many times did they say, all right, students freeze,
Yup.
and like they say in your classrooms,
Shootings be across the street. Yup.
right? It's something that you really
Every
forget,
day.
and then it's music like the stuff that you put out, where it reminds you
Hmm.
just like not only on the growth on where you've come from, but the growth on the individuals as well
Right.
and yourself, because it makes you think about how far you've come as well, how many setbacks you've made it through, and when you hear the kind of vibe that you're putting off, it's more of a understanding, educational, but um, straight up vibe. Like basically, like this is what I'm giving you. These are little some lessons. Just
Right.
follow the blueprint. Follow the blueprint. That's
That's
all
it.
it is.
That's it, man. You take it or leave it.
Exactly. And the what was the mentality behind Back to the Formula? Well, back to formula.
Mm. Yo, back to formula. That was honestly, it was something where, all right, so we were like smack dab in the middle of quarantine. I think it was like around maybe I want to say May, early May. Um, no, April when I started writing for Back to Formula. But when it started like just coming together, a lot of the songs that I had, like ideas that I had for it, it wasn't it wasn't meant to be an album. It was just meant to be like a few songs. But when I started, because I record everything like myself,
Yeah,
I
that's the other thing
master
I
it
gotta give
myself.
props for. The fact you record
Yeah,
everything, you literally write everything yourself. Like that's another thing I don't think anyone really
yeah.
gives you that much props enough for. Just because barely anyone does that in this generation anymore, and that's major props to you. The fact that you're able to do it all.
I appreciate, and that's actually what helped me with my sound because I when you have somebody else telling you what sounds good, it could be helpful, but it could also adulterate a lot of the flow that you have to where the point where you don't even recognize yourself anymore because you have some engineer telling you, that's what sounds good. But with Back to Formula, that was me getting used to mastering, getting used to, how to, make a hook because usually with like a lot of the songs that I write, it's not really any hook, it's just the song. I didn't really know how to
Straight up bars.
compose songs like that. Just straight up, that's all it is. Like no pacing, no whatever, just raw.
Yeah.
And then when it came to Back to Formula, with the album, you have to learn how to compose. You have to. It's true. People want to hear bars, but they also want to be, hear the melodies. They also want to hear like a catchy hook.
Right.
It should be pleasing. And that's what Back to the Formula was. It was a way for me to get in touch with how to compose a song properly and how to compose an album properly. Because before that, like
Yeah, because you
it
came
was
out with a
just
song,
straight bars,
Not
freestyle.
a Love Song on there, and it's Still Not a Love
Oh
Song
yeah.
is it's such a vibe. Like that song, like even when you put out the little teaser originally, when you first put out that initial teaser, I immediately said to you, I'm pretty sure I commented on the page, why isn't this on Spotify yet? Because I need this on my car. I need to be playing this in the car.
Yo, no joke. When you hit me with that message, I felt like it's weird when somebody like you. It's different when like a stranger says like, "Yo, your stuff is hot," because you don't know what their taste in music is. They may be, listening to trash, and then they say your stuff is good, so it means your stuff is trash. So it's like, but when you have somebody who you rock with, who you mess with the music that they mess with, and they say, "Yo, your music is good," yo, that put me over the roof, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's what initially when it made me want to start putting my songs on Spotify. Because before that, I was like, man, I ain't trying that. He was like, yo, put your stuff on Spotify, man. Stop playing. I was like, all
Facts,
right,
because
now we
when
good.
I tell you that it like just wanting to hear that while cruising down Sagato's Parkway or cruising down to LIE late night, windows down, just vibing. Like that was like the straight up the vibe song for the summertime, especially. Like that was when you dropped it on Spotify. That's probably one of the very few albums where I probably binged all the way from beginning to end nonstop, just because of the amount of classics you have on there, from Jackie Chan to 90s Baby to Still Not a Love Song, Comac Black, King Me. Like you threw that on there also. Like even though you dropped that as a single, you threw the King Me on there, which is amazing in my opinion. Like I really feel like whenever you drop a single, definitely add them to the next album. And then you drop something also called That's a Dub, which the ending,
yo,
I couldn't have agreed with so much fucking more, because anybody can do that stuff. Anybody can do that kind of like repetitive BS. Nah, it takes real people to hit you with the bars, but also bars that make you feel and make you think and make you reflect. That's the kind of music like people really should be listening to, is your kind of music, because there's actual value behind the music, because it's actually going to be shit that can be sit there and be played for generations, compared to other artists that are just hot for the moment.
Oh man, I appreciate that. And to me, I can't really take too much credit because I think a lot of what I make is a reflection of what I've been through. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the positions that God put me through and that He brought me out of, and like the people that are around me, like just the positive energy. Like better than anybody that the greatest artists have the most messed up backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? They've been through the worst. So I look at you and some of the things you're doing when you're going hard with just from being like your own ambassador, like just creating your own kingdom. Like that to me is like a motivational factor for like my music, because it's like if people around you, if you have people around you that are like pushing you to like do greater things, but also reminding you to stay true to yourself, like you can't help but be, you know, better than you were, you know.
Exactly.
So that's what I owe it to, man. Just the experiences and the
That I
people.
appreciate too, also, just because like when you have that hustler attitude, there ain't shit that's gonna stop you. There's a different attitude when you wake up every day. You can either submit to what life has given you, submit to the faults, and submit to the sins and everything else that's coming to your life, or you can actually challenge yourself and challenge the day and actually push for a little more, just a little bit more effort than you put in yesterday, just a little bit more than you put in yesterday. Little by little, you start realizing that you put in 20 times more effort than you put in the week before. Then you put in a million times more effort the month before. It's just that little steps, and then just constantly
Gradually,
just
yep.
reminding yourself why you're doing this. What's the purpose, and why am I doing this? Why am I putting
Yes.
myself so much stress? Why am I putting myself out there? What's being the vulnerable point about
Mhm.
this? Like the whole podcast thing and me being as vulnerable as I can as possible. It came with the idea from
Yeah.
your music being as vulnerable as possible, because
Oh man.
what you say
Yeah.
in your music is not only just the stuff that you've um, experienced and seen, but stuff that you've literally done. And from
Yes.
putting yourself out there, I found to be a little bit more, I want to say, accepting to the other eyes, just because you're
Hmm.
showing yourself that vulnerability, like that not a lot of people are afraid to show, because everyone is so obsessed with putting the perfectionist out there, like the perfect product, like it's got
Mm.
to be 100%, like nothing less than perfect. Like
Right.
in reality, and Gary Vee is actually somebody who said this, that it's just in perfectionist is just a sign of your insecurities. And
Mm.
I rather try to kill off as many of my insecurities as possible and literally just dump out all the information or any bit of content that I can, no matter how it sounds, no matter how many times I go or curse. Just
Right.
because it's literally just gonna be me.
Right. That's you.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I grew up being the slow kid, a little bit more in the slower minded. So I always had a harder time developing sentences.
Mm.
And now I'm going to be speaking for a living. And this is something that I plan to be doing, just because it's something that I'm coming into. Like
Mm.
it's not necessarily something that I've picked up on that I wanted to do. It just kind of like fell into my lap. And once the idea just like fell
Right.
into my
Okay.
lap, it was just okay. What's I could just put it aside, or I can actually look at it, observe it, maybe take a shot, maybe take a look at it, maybe actually give it a go. And with
Right.
the reaction that I've gotten to the podcast is what I'm looking for, which is not looking for billions of views. I'm looking for connection. I'm looking to help people. So with
Mm.
it's the same thing, I keep bring it back to your music, is that it's helping people. It's stuff that actually people can reflect on. It's people in the
Mm.
wood that actually can relate to the music, and have an artist that can really paint the vivid picture on what it was truly like growing up here in Brentwood. The multicultural, the diversities, the struggles, even the good times.
Hmm.
The pictures you
Absolutely.
painted and everything that you say through all your work is literally just the motivation that gives me to do shit like this.
Oh man, that's just iron sharpening iron, man. That's just iron sharpening iron. I think you actually touched on like a great point, like when it comes to just not doing things because you're worried about how it's going to be perceived. And I think that's a lot of the times with my music. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like even on my my computer right now, of songs that I've made that if honestly, I've showed a lot of people say, yo, this is sick, but I know it's not me. It's not me because I've tried to alter my sound to make it more appealing, you know, to the masses. So of course you're gonna rock with it, but me, like, would you be more comfortable with the whole world rocking to your song, but you know, on that song you compromise your integrity? or with just a handful of people, but you're sticking to your jewels. You know, this is a lot of with artists, whether you're writing poetry, whether you're doing spoken word, whether you're doing rap. You know, there's always gonna come moments where you have to where you're going to compromise your integrity. Now you could either put that out there, or you could say, you know what, that's not me. I'm gonna put that. But everybody has those moments, man. So I think it's just like you said, just a matter of understanding that it's not gonna be liked by everybody. It's not meant to be liked by everybody. Only a few people. It's esoteric. Only a few people gonna understand, man.
Exactly. And there's you literally you basically you quote that at the end of Duke's Tops, and you know, if I listen to other guys, would just no, because straight up, I wouldn't fucking listen. I wouldn't listen to you sound like other fucking guys. Like that's plain. There's so many other artists that have come out in Brentwood that literally have sound the fucking same. And it pisses me off because I know for a fact that these people out here can actually straight up fucking come up with their own sound. They can be their own music, but they want to ride the wave of trying to just get picked up by somebody.
Sound like yeah. Shoot, man, I can't even blame them, because it's like when you have a sound that you listen to and you rock with, and you say, yo, I can make, if you see your homeboys are making, you know, thousands of millions of dollars from sounding like this, you like, man, I'm trying to get paid too. But it's like a lot of people, like I was on that boat. Like I was making songs that weren't me. Like I was rapping about stuff that I didn't have. Like I don't know what it's like to drive a Maserati or a Bentley. I don't know what that's like. I know what it's like to push a Toyota Corolla in a car. I don't know what it's like to push a Bentley. And I think everybody needs to stick to
the foreign, though.
Like it's still a foreign, man. It ain't built here. They don't build them here. But I think that's what like people understanding. Like when you have music that you rock with and that you listen to, it's okay to listen to that kind of music. But when you make something, there's a difference between, you know, being influenced and totally imitating, you know, a certain thing. So of course you're going to be influenced by what's around you, but remember, like, who you are at your core. If you could listen to this song and you say 100%, I have no problem showing this to my loved ones, my family, then that's you. But if you're like, man, this ain't me. I ain't never shot at nobody. I ain't never, you know, stabbed nobody. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounds good. Then, you know, and that's where hip hop, you know, becomes kind of a gray area, because people say, well, it's just music, it's art, but art comes with a price. You know, what are you going to do?
Exactly, because then you get a bunch of Tekashi 6ix9ines.
Oh man, I was waiting for you to drop that name, man.
Bro, because I mean, that guy was, as much as his music was so terrible. He's the definition of what riding the wave is. He rode the wave of trolling. He rode the wave of, I could just hype this up real quick, and then people are gonna listen to it no matter what. I can say the craziest and wild thing. Like, and yet other people trying to imitate that, and it didn't work. You can't always copy what you see or hear on the TV. You have to come up with always true and genuine from you. If you copy, if you constantly copying, you're constantly looking at other people and saying, oh, I could just do that. I could do it a little bit better. No, focus on what your strength is, and then shine on that strength, water it, beat it, grow it. And I guarantee you're going to see something else that's going to shine brighter than what you're looking at.
Oh, that's a deep point, because I don't think a lot of people get that when it comes to like making it sound like it's totally okay. A lot of people don't know. It's like, what if my stuff doesn't work? Like, what if it does? Like, what if you put out a song and you're not sure about it, but it's you? People might gravitate, and that's what I found out a lot of times. People will gravitate, especially the ones who know you, to a sound that sounds like you. Like, at some point, when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna try this sound," like, I'm not even mad. Like, if you get into like a space where you're like, you know, this is me, and that's you, but it doesn't sound like my sound, but that's you, I'm gonna respect it. I may not agree with it. I may not even listen to your music. I may not even like it, but I respect anybody who speaks what they know, what they feel, and you know, it'll appeal to so many other people, rather than saying, you know, like, if you grew up like in the Hamptons and you're talking about, now you may know this, you may not, but if you grew up in the Hamptons and you're talking about, you know, selling drugs and living in Section 8 housing, like, maybe I missed that part of the Hamptons when I ride through there sometimes. Maybe I missed that area, but yo, come on, man. It's like there's really no. If that's what you know, then speak that. There are a lot of rappers who speak on living, a well-to-do upper middle class lifestyle, and they sound good because that's what they know.
Yeah.
So I just stick to what you know, man, and a lot of people will respect it.
It's genuine. It comes straight from the heart, and it's actual truth.
Yeah.
People fuck with the truth. People actually in this generation now, where constantly people are showing off the lies on social media or like telling the lies on the news and media and all that other shit. People are gravitating more towards the truth now than ever, just because the amount of lies and misinformation that's constantly out there nowadays from not only artists but politicians, celebrities, and fucking whoever else you can really think of. It's when you are able to distribute a truth that is also a vibe and people can connect with. It's different. Like that's something that's 110% different, and the success may not always come immediately, but the fact that the quality is out there now, it could get picked up immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the quality is out there. It's not just another sound that's out there. It's not just another mumble rapper. It's not just another high tops and fucking high snare, high bass. It's actual vibes and skits and stuff that you can really sit back and really not only just play, but you can play in front of your family too. Like, and not for nothing, you ain't dropping like some specific words that we can't ever say, and you're not also like you're dropping verses also, so the children can also listen to this music too.
Yeah.
So not for nothing, like this is another thing that really is something that you don't hear too often nowadays, and you're able to finesse it.
Oh man, a lot of people actually told me, like, when I started rapping, I told them that, like, oh, I don't curse my language, and they say, oh, why you trying to? I'm like, basically, it was simple. It wasn't like no philosophical reason. It was like, I want my mom to be able to listen to my music. That's all. Like, I don't curse in front of my mom. That's not me. Like, that's not me. So I'm not gonna make it. Like, I just want to make music, and it's not even a challenge. Like, there's a lot. Like, I feel like, especially as you, like, for me personally, I'm just speaking for me. When you have, words that you want to get across to some people, you realize that when you use words that turn a lot of people off, then the message gets blocked. It gets hindered. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna find a way to you, and you ain't gonna be able to put it down just because I curse or do anything like that. You're gonna listen to every single word, and you're not gonna put it down and use the excuse. Oh man, no, he's cursing. Oh, he's talking about doing this and doing that. No. I don't have to talk about get that point across to you, because some people are emphatic with certain things. They use different things to get their message across. My message is trying to peer into like who you are and make you realize that it's more than one. Like it's more than one aspect of life that people down here. So I think that's what kind of driven my whole cursing thing. And most I just like, I don't want to like listen to a song and I'm with my mom and I have to turn down the volume. Like, no, you don't want to listen to this part, man. Let me turn this part down. So that was just the whole thing behind that, man.
And I really respect that, because like I said, it's music that literally can be played at parties. It's music that can be played at family events. It's music that can be played in the background just because it's, there's actual quality sounds and there's not, a curse coming every other word. A lot of the mainstream artists nowadays, every other word, like even as much as I love J. Cole, no matter what, like that's one of my all-time favorite artists. But the man curses damn near every other word sometimes. So like that kind of makes it hard to introduce that sound to my family or to like the older generations. But then you have sounds like yours that come out and it's a clean sound, but it's also something that's actual really lyrical as well.
Right. And I'm not trying to like take, because there are a lot of people who don't curse, who don't use vulgarity, whose music that they come out with is really messed up. Like, I'm not saying like you don't have to not curse on a record to make a record that's like really bad and horrid. Like, it's possible, but I think everybody has their own sound. Like, I really like J. Cole. I like his music. I like the way that he's able to paint a vivid picture in like all aspects of a life, whether it's relationships, friendships, going through hard times, going through good times. And that's something that I try to emulate in my music. But like I said, there's different parts that you grasp, and then there's other parts where you got to maintain a little bit more of yourself. So that's just me being true to myself. That's all.
It's one song I wanted to ask you actually, your the ideas and the mentality behind
Mhm.
Troubles I've Seen. So how dare you write a chorus that catchy?
Yo, wait.
How dare you write a chorus that catchy, but also that connection of wow,
Yo,
damn, like I'm definitely gonna be okay, but whew, like wow, that song
yo.
is something.
Oh man, that song itself. I think I'm a big person. Like, I like hearing like chorus, like choir, high volume pitched, like all in harmony kind of thing. So when I heard that hook, I didn't write the hook. Let me just put that. I did not write that hook. What I did was I just looked at some things that I had in the vault, and one of my peoples has sent me through to that. The beat wasn't theirs, but the chorus was. They just found a beat on YouTube and they put the chorus on there, and I had it in the vault because I wasn't messing with it, like at first. But then when I heard it, and it's like through some things in order for things to grasp out at you. So after I went, through a little some, I want to say it was about like 2 months after I put that song on, I let the beat play and I heard that chorus. And then like towards the end with the breakdown, I was like, yeah, I got to use this, man. I got to use this. So
Yeah,
it was just something that it wasn't me.
but I'm gonna tell you right now, either way, that whether it was you or not, like that was by far like that's one song where the whole the background, the choir, it's just it all together, it all mixes in together so finessely. Like there's no other way to say it. Like it just the transitioning into each part. It's a song where you can listen to and get you like when you're like a real serious like down mood, and then you listen to the song and then you listen to the words, you listen to the hook and everything. It's just like shit. Nah, it's gonna be okay. I mean, I'm gonna be okay. It's little things like that. It's just little things like knowing that you're able to impact like emotions like that. Like that's one thing I want to like make it clear is that you're able to impact emotions like that, like through your music. So specifically that song, that's one I wanted to ask a little bit behind. But and then what was the other one? I had another one here that I wanted to Jackie Chan. So I'm not gonna lie, I slept on it. I slept on the song when you first dropped this whole album because I was too focused on King Me, Still Not a Love Song, Comac Black, 90s Baby, and That's a Dub. Like I was too obsessed with those songs to really go back and listen all over again. And when I really listen to Jackie Chan, it's just like the wordplay. It's just it's beautiful. Like the wordplay is just beautiful, and there's no other way around. Like to say like the words I can find it, but it's just like it's beautifully put together.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. That was a fun song to do. I enjoyed recording that. It's honestly, I was and this is crazy because when I was like making that song, I quit like 8 times because when you're making like a song and you're mastering it yourself, you don't rely on anybody's expertise. So you got to like have a song that sounds like you would hear it on the radio. So I'm like going back and forth. I'm hearing like mainstream songs and how like they sound and comparing it to my sound. And I'm going back and forth. I'm like, man, I can't put this out, man. This ain't worth putting out. And then I came back. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I just let loose, man. I was like,
3 hour, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of magic happens at that 3 hour. I don't know what it is, but between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, that witching hour, there's always something.
You know what I think? I'm not to get off subject, but I think at that hour, like because we're supposed to be asleep, I think there's something in us that like because we're most creative when we're dreaming. So I think there's something that kicks in here where it's just like let's be like, yo, let's just go off. Yeah.
But when I tell you that some of my best
I think
ideas
that's
have
what.
come from working overnight, and they've come from that time frame from like 2 o'clock to like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
That time
Because
frame
you
right
work overnight. I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, like tonight, like I gotta be in at 12:30 to go take care of the gym and shit. But
Right.
wow, I completely lost completely.
No.
Woo!
You right there. You right there.
Took the lost train of thought right there. Holy shit! Wow,
But at
that was
3
that.
a.m., man. 3 a.m.
Second I heard work, I just went damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the third out. What you got?
I didn't mean to go with
The podcasting here, this stuff, the spoken word I write, everything usually comes between that time frame, and I do believe that certain people are actually honestly meant to be up during that time frame or during overnight, just because they're not meant to grind in the daytime. Certain people just don't fully function properly well in the daytime when it comes to creativity. The true creativity comes when the full day is completely done, and now you're sitting alone all night, and then you're able to really reflect on the whole entire day or days, if you ever get a chance to reflect on a couple of days or a week or so, and you're able to combine it all and express it artistically, whether it be through spoken word, whether it be through hip hop, whether it be through just overall journal writing, stuff like that. Like there's it varies. It varies, but during that time frame, I find that the people who are actually on the creative side or who have a wide creative mind are always up. Always up.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Absolutely.
surprised you don't have a song at 3 called 3 o'clock in the hour, because I know a couple of songs you'd like to go with the numbers. Like so that's another song I actually wanted to ask. What's 519?
519. That's actually in Proverbs. Yeah, it actually stands for Proverbs 519, and what that is speaking on how when a man has certain affection for a woman and they become together, it speaks about the affection and the tenderness that man should have towards that woman, and vice versa. You know, it can work both ways. So when I made that song, it's crazy because a lot of people think, oh, you talking about, I'm like, I'm not talking about a specific person. I could be, but in general, like how, you know, a lot of the songs that we hear today,
No,
like,
he said he could
there's
be.
not really, like,
he could be, so he could be talking about somebody.
It could be. Listen, it could be depending on, you know what I'm saying, the phone a little dry right now, so it ain't really too much happening over in this area, you feel me? But no, man, that's just a thing that I had to do, because I think that a lot of times it gets lost, like how, like the way that you listen to music, it's almost like you project that to the people that you love. And I feel like if you listen to songs about, you know, dogging people, doing people wrong, whether you're male or female, it's unacceptable on all levels. So I think the song that I made, that, like, I was just joking around, but I was dead serious. Like, the way that a person who loves somebody should be and accepted. So if you're, you know, feeling somebody and you're with that person, you do all you do all you can to make that person happy, and they're going to receive it, and it's going to be a mutual understanding that this is how it works. This relationship, it's work, it's effort. And I think I even said in the song, like, it's work, like it's not going to be perfect. And that's what people have, this false, you know, imagination that, yo, as soon as I get, it's going to be all cupcakes and rainbows. But it's not. It's a relationship. Love is an action word. It's a verb. You got to put it to use. You got to show it. It's not something that you have. It's something that you show. So I think that's real important to put into, you know, not only my music, because I like the music I make, but also it projects on the other people that you love. So that was just, you doing some digging, man, because I ain't even know
No,
all this
I
stuff
told
about my
when I
music
told you
until
that
started
I was
bringing it
ready
up,
for
man.
this. Like I told you, I was ready. Like they're like, because this is not only just like an interview, or it's like, you know, just boys talking, but like you're legit like one of my favorite artists that I have out there right now, and that I actually listen to on a day-to-day basis. Like when I tell you that I literally listen to at least 1 or 2 or maybe even 5 of your songs every single day.
Oh, man, that's
just because
crazy.
the amount that you put out there, you put out the amount of quality. So how the fuck can I not listen to it at all? Like, how can I not listen? Like, how can I not sit there and listen to at least 2 or 3 songs or 4 or 5 songs? Like, you know, just throughout the day when I'm, especially overnight when I'm working, I got my headphones in or I'm in the gym.
Yeah,
You know, it's impossible to not run into at least one of your songs. It's
I
impossible.
appreciate that, man.
Like anywhere I go, like I do try to promote as much as possible, just because I've listened. Like it's very rare when there's somebody from Brentwood that I actually fuck with 110%, and their music is also 110% like fuckwittable. Like it's very rare, just because the amount of music that people come out with and it just sounds the same. It's just the same stuff,
Yeah.
same concept, same like it's somebody who always likes something new. It is so repetitive and it's just annoying now to hear because it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff that comes out. No one's got true passion behind the bars until I hear your music. And then when I hear your music comes out with the true bars, it's a different pedestal to set it on top of, just because like their music and everyone's down here and you're already way up here way before like anybody else knows. Like that like mentally and intellectually, like you're way up there, like as far as with the music. Like it's insane. Like it's insane like how crafty you can get and creative that you can be.
Oh man, it's crazy hearing you talk like that, because like, bro, I'm not even trying to hold you, man. Like a lot of times when I put music out, I'm a person where I rarely second guess. Like I feel like your next move should be your best move. But whenever I make like songs, I'm like, man, ain't nobody gonna feel. Like how many times have you put up a post on Instagram, like 2 hours, 3 hours went by and only got like 1 like, and you're like, man, I'm scrapping this, bro. I ain't doing this, man. I ain't getting no love on this post, bro. That's how I feel about music. But I think that like when I started being more accepted to the idea that the music that I make, like I said, is not meant for everybody. Not everybody's supposed to like it. And I think that you're only as good as the people who, you know, everybody can like your music, but you also should have people who don't like it. Because if you're speaking positive and you bring in positive energy, negative energy shouldn't like that.
Exactly.
So if you're finding that negative energy is gravitating towards your music, yes, and that's where you have to draw the line. Like if you find it, like I always say this, like a friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. You have to have enemies. You're supposed to make enemies because that shows that you're standing for something. So when you stand for something, you're gonna meet opposing forces. That's just nature. That's physics. You're supposed to have an opposing force.
Exactly.
So I think that, you know, when it comes to that, just making music that's not supposed to appeal to the masses, but the people you find that do mess with it, who are genuinely like appreciating, like every time I make a song, bro, you never like hesitate to just show love and come through. Even when I see you on your Instagram stories, like sharing the music with your homies, man, that to me, that to me defines success. Like that's to me success. I don't need anything else. Like that to me shows like, yo, that's it, man. That's all. So I appreciate that, bro.
No, it's all due to you, man. Like I said, just because it's when you have that range of quality music that's also passionate and effective towards people's emotions, it's a different kind of expression promotion that you want to give out there. Like you actually want people to listen. Like you actually really want to hear, like, yo, listen, I know I say this all the time, and there's somebody else from Brentwood that's coming out with something, but I tell you right now, like this is something different. And every single time, nothing but positive feedback on it. Just because it's something different. And one of the first songs I really go to is Matrix. Like outstandingly done. Like Matrix is another one of those songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I put that on. Appreciate it. And everyone's eyes goes, hold on a minute. And then I'll bring them back to Fred and Freddie. When I bring them back to Fred, like when I tell them that, and then I show them the video that you put up on Instagram of how you actually recorded it. It's like, how can you not respect the hustle, respect the grind, and appreciate the sound? Just because it's literally his fucking beatboxing. It's literally him all in the video. It's I don't know, like that, like it's I'll always start off showing like the newest stuff, and I'll show like this is where he's at right now, but this is where he's come from.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. That's like in the songs like that where people get a glimpse of who I really am. Because I think I'm one of those rappers where like a lot of people that I listened to growing up was like Method Man and Redman, Cool Mo D, just like a lot of like rappers who like they were funny that they could be like Eminem, like they could be funny. Like it was okay to be funny in your raps without compromising, the whole tough guy persona. Like you could still, bring a certain authentic feel, but like with that song, Fred and Freddie, like that's a glimpse of like who I am. Like I got a lot of personalities, but like I try to bring
Yeah,
like
I'm in
some
this. I'm in
kind
this
of
bitch flipping the
entertainment
porn.
to my music.
Flip porns to 20.
Yo, yeah, yo,
No, when
man,
I
hey,
first heard that shit, I died for a solid like 5 10 minutes just because like this man really just fucking put that in a song and he came back and he killed it coming back on it.
yo, that to this day, like I rarely listen to my songs, but that's a song I listen to because I'm like, when you make something and then like some time go by and you're like, there's no way, how did I make this? Like, what was I on to make me want to make something like
Mhm.
this? Because it's ridiculous, but it's funny. But that's me. Like that's how I am.
And not only you put
That's
it on
who
the
I
video,
am.
but then you throw it on the damn album, and it's just like, oh, it's one of those songs where it's like you don't
Oh,
expect it to come out of nowhere. Like you hear the other songs come on, and then you hear the beatbox come in. It's like, huh? And then you hear the Bad Boys reference, and you go, wait. And then you hear
wait,
the
oh,
fucking bars come down on you, and then you hear
yo,
I'm in the streets whipping up one. Wait, hold up.
oh,
And it's just like it's
yo,
classic shit
I'm.
that's very genuine and just to yourself. Like that's you don't hear anybody else
Yeah,
doing that kind of shit right now. You don't hear anybody else putting that out
yo,
there. Like very rarely are you hearing artists bringing the comic stuff back into the game. Like the comic,
yeah,
like people understand like comic bars are bars. Like those shit like when
yes.
they're gonna make you laugh, but it's like, damn, that shit was clever.
It was, but yo, that's the way. I think that you have to have a certain because music is gonna impact how you feel. So if you're going into work and you're listening to some like real heavy, just on the heart stuff, you're not gonna have a good day at work, bro. Not at all. Like I'm telling you that
Mhm.
right now. You can't go to work like that. But if you listen to like you're able to alter your mood based on your sound. That's just like from the moment that we're born, when we're babies, like they're supposed to soft sounds because you don't want to be easily irritated to when we grow up, whether we're sad, happy. I wanted to make a song to where people listen to it, they can laugh. Like I always enjoyed making people laugh. Like no cap, before I wanted to be a rapper, I wanted to be a comedian. Like I wanted to make people laugh because I think laughter is the best medicine. Like when you have somebody who could just literally have you rolling on the floor laughing, that to me is like a great indication of a good character. So I think that's something that I wanted to bring to the table. But it's definitely not not everybody rocks with it because they think like rap and music's supposed to be serious. You got to take it serious because like it's impactful to a lot of people. But I'm like, you gotta have light
Take it
moments
too
in
serious and you're not
some
gonna
of
have
that,
the
man. You
fun.
gotta have it, man.
Like if you take it too serious, you gotta have
Yes,
fun with this too.
exactly.
Like that's
You have
another
to have
thing
the
with people
balance.
like where artists nowadays are really lacking is that you're not having fun with it. You're putting it out there because you've turned it into work. You've turned it into a job. No one's gonna want to go to a
Yes,
job. If
yes.
you're having fun with it and you're actually able to express
Hmm.
yourself and have fun with it at the same time, what's to lose? What's to lose?
Yeah. There's
Like in all
nothing.
honesty,
Yep,
what is there to
exactly.
lose?
Exactly.
There's nothing there to lose and everything to gain because if somebody hears that and someone picks that up, shit. Like if I was
Yep.
on the record label
Yo,
and I heard something like that come across and it's like that's something different. I gotta pick that up. Like I
oh
gotta get
man.
him signed today.
You gotta and going back to the point that you mentioned before, I think you made a real good point when you said, a lot of times when you, especially when you're making something, you have to you have to be true to yourself and authentic and the stuff that you put out. Um, I think if me making that was just a way to refresh myself to like saying like I can make a song and still put myself out there. I can still expose myself because I like being a joker. I like joking around. Like I'm not totally like that. I'm not 100% of the time, but like that's a part of me. Like that's who I am. So I think making that record was just a way for me to remind myself that, hey, this is still you. Like, don't lose this. This is who you are. And a lot of people actually received that a lot better than most of the songs that I made. So I was like, okay, so if people are feeling this, then obviously they're feeling me, as opposed to if I would have put something out that everyone was feeling that wasn't me. You know, there's that saying, like, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for what I'm not. That song was the indicator right there, like whether or not people gonna rock with me. So
Hey, you definitely got people rock with you just because literally it's something that it's a sound that can't be mimicked. It's a sound that can't be like done twice. It is there's certain sounds that you have that it's just there's no way of getting around it, that nobody else I don't think can really like master that kind of sound. Like as far as like being as young as you are and being able to be as effective as you are with the lyricism, but also with the catchiness, and then to bring it right back and then hit him with another bar is just it's a different kind of ability to hit at a young age. Like they're like certain levels where you're at right now, like artists really only hit like into the late 20s and like early 30s. Like certain lyrical artists like Redman and Method Man, like the most classic stuff like happened when they were dropping between their mid 20s and late 20s. Artists like Big L, God bless the dead.
Absolutely.
He that's one of my favorite artists of all time. He's another one where it was just he came a little bit later into the game, but then once he came in, boom, like the freestyle was like he was just
heavy.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for this, but I'm gonna stay firm for this. But there was nobody that was finer than a freestyle than Big L. Like there's nobody that like Biggie, Pac on a freestyle. I love him to death, but Big L on a freestyle, you can't touch.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you only because I got family in Harlem, and Big L, along with obviously, Dipset. You got a lot of Harlem rappers, ASAP Ferg, like all those rappers. Like, of course, like they're staples in the household. But Big L was a person where, and he like I feel like he died mad young, because he was as hot as he was. Because a lot of rappers who died early, like and early is like dying in your like mid 20s. Big Pac, Big L, like a lot of these people, and I would put them up there because at first I wasn't like too keen on like listening to music because I wanted to make songs that were hot like now. But now going back into the roots of what hip hop culture started out as, you grow to appreciate a lot of like freestyles, like going off the top of something. Like Big L perfected
that ain't easy. To have a quality freestyle and have everything rhyme and match and literally flow at the same time. That's the hardest shit to do. Like you gotta be mentally quick.
Oh
and
man,
your mind's gotta match with your tongue, and your tongue's gotta match with the lips, and everything's gotta all match with the beat. Like that's some of the hardest shit to do.
I think those people are like
freestyle. I always props too. Just because that's something that's damn near like you gotta have a wide variety of vocabulary. You gotta have a dictionary in your brain basically, and you gotta be able to use the whole dictionary.
Yup.
Like that's
those people are like some different planet. But that's the beauty of like what I think hip hop, because like hip hop itself, like that's what it was. That's what it started out as. A lot of people don't realize this, but there was a time where like when you were freestyling on the stoop with your boys outside, that was illegal. Like it wasn't mandated, but the cops would come and harass you if you were seen outside freestyling with your boys. So I think that like listening to people who were like the predecessors in the hip hop game, like the forerunners of the thing, that helps you get more in tune, and that's what helped me develop my sound when I realized the history of hip hop and what it has done. Behind the whole parental advisory sticker, like hip hop started that. Like with like people in the culture where it became not just a one lane for people, but it's abstract. It's something that can appeal to the like people from either you're across the street or across the world. It's something that you could feel. So I think that before, when you asked me, how did I develop my sound, I think it was a big part of understanding like you don't know where you're going until you know where you're from. So understanding your past, like especially when you gravitate towards hip hop, anything hip hop, whether it's poetry, graffiti, breakdancing, any portion of it, you have to understand you're doing yourself and also the people who came before you who have literally lived and died to make this. You're doing them a service too. You're paying dues. So I think that's what a lot of rappers, I feel like nowadays are missing, like paying the proper dues to an outlet that you're benefiting off of, whether it's notoriety or financially, you're benefiting. So I think that's something that people need to realize as well. Is like pay homage to the people who came before you, and you find your sound develop.
Now I'm gonna ask you a little controversial question for yourself. I want you to give me 5 songs. If any random person on the street, they asked you what 5 songs can you give me that will like make sure I'm 100% like gonna listen to you. Like I'm gonna download all your albums tonight. Like I'm listening to everything. Dude, they give you 5 as wide up as a catalog you got already within a year. With mind you, again, you dropped 3 beautiful albums within a year. Like that's albums, EPs. You dropped 3.
Right.
People have a hard time just dropping a single album, and you're dropping beat after it's so.
Oh man!
Out of the whole catalog you got out right now, what 5 songs could you say would guarantee somebody to listen to you?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say 1, Fred and Freddie. 2, I'm gonna have to say 90s Baby.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say 3rd one, Summer '03, because that encapsulates my childhood, both of those songs. Number 4, I feel like I want to say Matrix, because I feel like in that one, like
you went off.
I developed like a lot of my. There's no
other way we would say that. You just went off.
That's the one, man. That's the one. I went off on that, like, and I'm, and the 5th one. I don't know, man. It's a close, because I don't even listen to myself like that. Like when I make a song, I don't want to listen to it again. Like I want to just upload it. Okay, I don't want to hear it again. I'm done. Like, because then I start nitpicking. I gotta man. I'm gonna say, and this is the one I put up recently. I'm gonna say Juxtops. That's the one that I'm gonna say, because, and that one when I came out,
you got a whole Method Man type video.
One of my boys,
like, not even lying. Like you straight up got a whole Method Man type fucking video.
That's what put me over. First of all, Method Man is my favorite rapper. Him being from, even though he doesn't acknowledge it, he's from Long Island. As much as you try to deny it, he's from Hempstead. A lot of rappers are from Long Island, and they need to accept that.
They want to say they're from Queens,
but also too, like
they're from the Bronx, they're from all the way.
They're from Queens. I'm from Bronx.
From
I'm from, man. Listen, you from Long Island. Listen, Eric Rakim from Eric B and Rakim was born in Wyandanch, bro. You from here. Stop denying it. All your favorite rappers are from here. But like that sound, I think it was the video too that kind of put it in that top 5, because it's a 90s like theme where you could like wild out and kind of be yourself. And that was another thing where I try to be like a little bit funny on that one too. And then when the beat drops, I was like, because the beat wasn't supposed to drop. It was an accident when I was recording where the beat, I forgot that I chopped it, and I just started, okay. No, I gotta come up with something. I just went into a freestyle that I actually had. I went into a freestyle that I had because when the beat stopped, there was like a 2-second interval, and I looked at my computer and I realized there was no more like beat there. So I was like, I just went into a freestyle that I had. I kid you not, I went into a freestyle that I had,
makes
bro.
that song.
And that's how it came up.
That just makes that song that much better. Just because really listening to that song, I'm like, that part is freestyle. This mother, wow.
It was supposed to be a chorus. It was supposed to be a chorus. It was never meant to be like it was supposed to be a chorus there. But I forgot I had chopped that. I thought I was chopping my lyrics, but I chopped the beat. And it was like, oh man. So that became the introduction to Villa.
Wow. And you couldn't have picked off a better introduction, just because that by far was wow. Like you're starting off that album with that heat, and then immediately after, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is Matrix. I believe. Let me just clarify that. Let me just clarify that real quick. Like you have the.
You might be right, man, because I don't.
Because I said I listen to a lot. I listen to everything. Of course, my phone now
Oh
is dumb slow.
no, you're right.
There we go.
Yeah, listen, man. You
Yeah,
know better than I would.
right. Then right there is Matrix. Like, bruh,
Right
one,
after.
you can't like you fucking, you can't do that. You can't do that to people's
Yo,
ears. You can't do that to them too fast. Like, too many bars. That's too many. That you
yo,
get people angry. That shit.
but you know what I appreciate? I appreciate people who like you found like the subtle undertones, especially like in Freddie, like you got the references. My fear, like whenever I make a song, is that sometimes I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm going over a lot of people's heads that won't understand it because a lot of people that listen to music that doesn't cater to their brain like that, it's not gonna be like it's basically ear candy. Like they hear it, they get a nice beat, it's catchy, but they don't really have to think about it. Like there's no double entendres, and I throw a lot of triple entendres in my music as well because it's like a Rubik's cube for me. Like I like solving like different things that go together. Like that's just me. And this is coming from a person who's like, I have not
That's a perfect
been
way to
the
describe your music.
smartest
Would be a
tool
Rubik's
in.
cube because you really have to, when you really break down your bars, that shit is.
I have,
There's
and bro,
bars that
I'm not
do
like
go over
if
your
you
head.
look,
Like they do. You have to read it at
and
least
that
2 or 3 times.
yes, you and that's the music like I like when I like go back and I listen to a lot of songs from like the 90s and even like some people doing it today, like a lot of like Kendrick Lamar's music. Like you
Mhm.
listen to it again and you're like, yo, this is oh now I get what he's saying because you gotta be the it's like watching a movie that you watched when you were younger and like you start to get all the like the little
Yeah,
references that they make in. I feel like that's the music that and but then again, like I get scared because I'm like, what if it's not appealing to everybody? Like a lot of people don't like thinking when it comes to me. And sometimes, when you're in the gym, you don't want to think about a song. You don't want to go into deep thought. Like you wanted something that you could just rock out, get the job done. So I do have that kind of music, but it would be, it wouldn't be true to myself to make something where I didn't try to, and I'm not a smart dude. Like my SAT scores would show you, like I'm not that
and
thing.
yours and mine both.
But it's weird when
I'm pretty sure we could talk about those SATs that being the least ETs of our
but
life.
yo, I but the fact that what makes you and I so different is the fact that we all our lives we're told that we have to have a piece of paper that validates us as being intelligent or just uh like socially inept where you could be, oh, I don't have a personality, but I could get like 100% on the SAT, 100% grade on the SAT score. Now I'm the smartest person. Like that's never been me. I've always tried to have the balance where like you're supposed to be a thinker, but certain things I excel in, and certain things where it's just like, but we don't need that kind of validation. So that's where like I feel like me and you, like people like us, we're gonna differ because there's no need for like even though we didn't do great in school, that doesn't mean that we're not intelligent. In fact, the fact that we're doing this, that we're able to have a conversation where we could like express each other's thoughts and opinions in a civilized but also a coherent manner, like that proves our intelligence right there. We don't need no piece of paper. So I think that's a lot of the like that validates us themselves. The fact that we
Yeah,
can do that.
yeah. Literally, any teachers that I talk to back from high school or back from middle school nowadays, they all say the same thing. Is just like they never knew like the side of the me that like, actually talk articulately and all that stuff. It's just I didn't care because there was stuff there. There's stuff there that I found that to be pointless for me to learn or pointless for me to try to understand because I knew I wasn't going to be using that information. Knew I wasn't going to be using this or that. And then the second I started like really going in depth with the stuff I was interested in, which was the training, which was nutrition, which was spoken word, which was all this other wide variety of stuff that I was doing, and not A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah,
Like my mentality was focusing on, when I got to English class, my writing, how could I better on my writing, or on science, like learning the nutrition part, like stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't excel in math or anything, or what was the other one? Yeah, no, that's still math. I was gonna say trigonometry, but that's still math. Yeah, so basically, me and math never got along, and then
no, I feel you same way.
The second you start putting letters and numbers together, you fucking lost me. But
I say the same thing, man. Where's the point? Like, when we go,
yeah,
invisible numbers, like numbers that aren't there.
Like, where am I? Where
imaginary numbers?
No, I'm good on that. If I start, but it's also what's really different from us is that we understand and we appreciate a hustle. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that there's a difference between appreciating the books and appreciating the college education, but then there's also a hustle education as well. Like there's very few lessons that that the hustle will teach you that you cannot learn in a college, you cannot learn in the highest degrees of schools. Like there's certain things that the grit and the value of what each lesson is teaching you is going to lead you to the blessings. Like there's no doubt in my mind that in the future, like there's going to be major blessings, but at the same time, it's going to be as a rewarding factor just because of the amount of struggling lessons that we had to go through growing up. That didn't involve a book or a textbook, but involved just being in the street, that involved learning something that we shouldn't be doing and perfecting that. You know, there's little things, and just constantly just keeping that hustle up. You can't teach hustle.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And this is not, and very well said. And this is not to like say that like, oh, school is like completely, useful. It's useless. I do believe that they teach you core elements that you do need in order to survive, like how to be responsible, be accountable, being studious. There is a manner that's going to travel into other elements in your life, but I think that school, like, everybody should learn how to be their own boss, and I feel like school teaches you more so how to be a cog than anything. Like it teaches you how to be an employee rather than being your own boss.
Definitely.
So I think like you said, that hustle mentality teaches you like, listen, don't wait on anybody. School teaches you like, listen, just do this, that, and the third, and this will come. But we come to realize people with with associates, with doctoral degrees, flipping burgers, because that's the only job market that they could have real assured gain from. And it's not, but they realize like the field that rather than doing something that they love, they do something that's more lucrative. And it's sad to say a lot of people would rather work a 9 to 5 that they hate than doing something that they love and still being able to pay the bills, but they're not making as much money as they would. And it kind of comes back to, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live a minimal lifestyle, but still do what you love, or work a job that you hate, have all this money, but you're not happy?
And there's no happiness there. There's no happiness, and there's no value in life, and there's no value in that job. There's no, it's because it's just another job. It's not a career. It's not a passion. There's a difference.
Exactly.
When you're working for a career and your passion, it doesn't matter about the money. As long as it's giving you enough that you're able to survive and maintain. Shit, I'd be happy if I was just making $100,000 or $200,000 a year. I don't care about. I don't care about being a billionaire. More money, more problems. Like that's more money, more tax. Especially if I ever make a big. I'm not living in New York. The taxes here. Oh hell no. Bro, when I saw when I was working a sales job and I saw a paycheck come out of my paycheck, I'm sorry. Like you're not. You literally took a whole paycheck out of my fucking paycheck now.
Let me ask you, because man, how many times have you put in overtime and you said, man, my check about to be looking good, and all that overtime that you put in, man, I didn't know that. Like when I started working, I didn't know that they like the more you make, the more they take. Oh, your Uncle Sam gonna get his cut, man, whether or not you like it or not. Like,
and if it's making a little extra off that clock, oh, you making time and a half now? Man, you're just making that half time.
Time and a half.
I'm gonna take that full time. I'm gonna take all that extra.
Yeah. I don't care what nobody says. We all like Uncle Sam's our pimp. I don't care. Like you making money, he slide in. He's like, listen, I'm gonna need me a little something.
Unless you're Jeff Bezos, so you don't have to pay $10 in taxes, but you have to be the richest man in the whole entire world. Like that.
Oh yeah, you got to be. Yeah. Oh,
The loopholes on top of loopholes on top of loopholes, all that shit. It doesn't pay a single damn dollar in taxes, but has a 7, 8, 9, 10 figure income. Add up all those numbers together, that's his income.
Man, how you have that much money? You have so much money where you're bored. Like at that point, like I think that's
At
the
that
thing
point, I'm
that
just coming out
like I like
scholarships.
most about.
At that
What
point,
do you like?
I'm
There's
literally
nothing
just
else you
handing
could
out
do. Like you got,
scholarships.
there's nothing else you could do. Like a lot of people say, man, I wish I had this much. Like no, you don't. You really want that much money?
Nah,
You want to have more money than anybody else in the world? Man, nah, that's too many problems, man.
hell no. I want to make enough money to the point that I can keep my family comfortable. I can make myself comfortable, and I can live a lifestyle I like to live. Take a vacation when I want to take a vacation, but also I don't want to work at a job where I have to feel like it's work. Like that's something where if I'm
Yeah,
gonna work, it's
exactly.
gonna be something where I'm gonna be doing something where I don't feel like I'm at work. Like that's the thing. Like I want to make sure that
Yep,
I feel like
exactly. Because you're
I
doing
feel
what you
like I'm
love.
gonna have the time fly by when I'm at the job. I'm not just staring at the clock waiting for it to hit 5 o'clock.
Waiting for the. Yep,
Like
exactly.
nah, it's
Been there.
I work overnight and I do work like consistent hours per week, but I also do the personal training during the daytime, and that's another. It's
Right.
one's a stable set of money just to make sure no matter what there's money coming in, but then the other one
Hmm.
pays very nice when there's clients and when I teach classes also. So it's like you got the stable income because here's one thing I keep telling people all the time: you can have a job, but you can also work on your passion at the same time. Find a job
Yes.
that
Yes.
allows you to work on your passion at the same time. One thing I'm very blessful for is that I do
Yo.
have an amazing set of bosses that at Planet Fitness that have allowed me to work on not only the podcasting overnight, but as well as my personal training, my studying, client building, the paperwork, anything I need to get done. They allowed me to work on my passion, work on a my true what I want to do while I'm still getting the job done under their time. So if you can
Right.
find
Right.
if anyone can
Okay.
find a job that allows them to work towards their passion, you're going
Hmm.
everywhere you need to go. And it takes time,
Absolutely.
but just being
Yes. Yes.
patient.
But and when you do that job, you're not gonna feel like it's dead end. Like you're working towards a goal, so you're gonna go into work with like a positive because you're like, listen, I'm doing this job so I could afford this new piece of equipment, or I can afford to have new clients come in. Like it's a means to an end. You don't just feel like you're working for somebody, but you're using them to enable you to do something that you love, and that's what helps. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Exactly. Like especially when you're able to do something that you love that is also going to benefit the people around you as well. Like learning the information I've learned as
Right.
well, from nutrition to personal training, as far as I'm able to help my family just get back into the right track as far as nutrition wise. They started to see stuff they didn't like seeing, and then when I'm able to help out and like give them the conversation and truly educate them on what they need to be doing, and that right there is a different set of accomplishments for myself and a different feeling of accomplishment. Just because shit,
Mhm.
I was just able to give my family some actual life lessons, some life advice, some actual
Yeah.
information that they can hold on to instead of it being the other way around.
Hmm.
Like that's always been the ultimate goal is that
Feels
eventually
good.
down the road, I don't want my family to have to rely on anything but me.
Oh man, it's the best feeling because now you're not like it surpasses monetary value. Now it's like this is something like you're planning like you're starting your legacy, and I think that's what made me go so hard with the music is because it comes a time, especially when you become a man, when you start becoming a man and you get older, you start thinking about you know when you pass, when you leave here, are you going to leave something behind? Like, what are people going to remember you for? And it's a scary thought to know that if you were to pass, you have nothing from you. You're just going to be known as that guy who lived in, that apartment. Like that. Recently we had the passing of a
Yeah.
Long Island brother.
No,
And
and
just the reception. I personally didn't know him. I didn't know him, but I knew of him. But to see the reception that he got at his, you know, repast at the the memorial, it shows the kind of person that he was. And that's the kind of person that I want to be. When you leave here, you have something for people to hold on to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Here I truly do feel that God has given us all abilities, and whether we are choosing to use the abilities or not, or being awakened to those abilities, is always up to the person, just because they can either sit there and sulk on the sorrows and worry about the consistent struggles for tomorrow, or you can actually stand up to tomorrow, like standing up to the face of tomorrow and actually pursuing something that you want to actually pursue, no matter what the day may feel, no matter what you may feel, no matter what kind of energy is around you that day, because no matter what, that sun's still going to come up and it's still going to set, and it's going to happen again tomorrow, and there's nothing that you can do to stop it.
Yep. 100%. Carpe diem, man. Seize the day. To either, like, we all got 24 hours, man. So it's up to us to decide what we're gonna do with it. 100%, bro.
And it's also for people who record, like, it's not also a 24/7 hustle. No, you do need some days to reflect and like take a break real quick, a mental break.
Right.
You need mental breaks. Like, that's one thing I do want to make clear. For myself, I take mental breaks as well. Like, I'm not just always on the grind 24/7. No, there's at least one or two days per week where I do need to meditate a little bit longer, or I need to just get like maybe like an extra 30 minutes of sleep, or work out just a little bit longer before I start studying, or before I start educating, or before I start really going out there again, or pushing out more spoken word. Like, there's some stuff out there. Take a couple steps back, breathe, relax, and then readjust, and then attack again. Because constantly pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, eventually you're pouring from an empty cup, and then there's nothing there to pour, and you got nothing else to give. What else? You just tire yourself out completely.
100%. Oh man, that's more important. I feel like that, like they say, like especially when it comes to fitness and that realm, they say the most important thing you could do, even more important than working out hard, is resting hard. You got to rest even harder, because you got to recuperate for the next workout, the next event, whatever you're planning. And I think that's just important in life, man. You need time to just revamp completely. That way you could attack, because like you said, you keep going 100%. And I think that's what a lot of people have, like a false, because you get people who say you got to be on the grind like 25/7. I keep hearing people say, 25/7, you got to be on the grind. I'm like, a lot of people, but a lot of people, there's some people who are built like that. Like, they can grind, and if they stop, there are people like that, but it's not for every, and that's a small minority who could do that.
Very small, like a 0.5% of the minority.
Take a break.
Like I cannot tell you like how the importance of sleep, coming from somebody that rarely ever got sleep growing up, that finding the importance in sleep and recovery is beyond important. You are really honestly needing your sleep, just for your brain function, for your body to fully recover, for you to feel properly the next day. You'd be surprised what really like a consistent schedule of improper sleep really can do to some people. Like, when you fully are rested and recovered, you're able to attack the day a little differently the next day. You're able to attack the work day a little bit easier. You're able to do your job a little more efficiently. When you are sitting there a tired mess, you're cranky, you're hating the world. All you're thinking about is bed. You just want to go back to bed. You're tired, you're sleepy, you're tired. I'm tired of hearing that bullshit.
Yep.
Because it's just certain things I'm just tired of hearing from people. Some excuses I'm tired of hearing. Like, there's this hearing you say you're tired is making me tired of you. Like this, it's very like this.
Make me tired.
Like, I don't need to be hearing every day that you're coming in to work that you're a terrible, miserable mess. Well, who fucking told you to come in today? Who told you to take this job? Like, what are you doing being miserable? Like, there's a lot of people that every morning he comes in, same thing. It's just, I don't want to be here. Then why are you here?
Okay.
Like, I don't want to be here either, but I'm not screaming it out loud. I'm here because I need a paycheck.
Exactly. And a lot of people that I found who are like that, like, so you mean to tell me you couldn't find any time to rest when you was out partying all night, just throwing back 100, vodka shots, and you ain't think maybe I could use this time to rest, and then you come in all lethargic, like, man, I don't want it, man. you could have like, and that's the thing I'm learning myself is that like a lot of the things that we complain about, I want to say about 99.9 of things that we complain about, we can change,
Yeah.
but we don't want to. Simple.
Boom, right there. That's the key. That's the key word is want.
Yeah.
People say they want change. They want to do this. They want to do that. But in reality, they don't want to put the work in. They want it handed to them. They want to specifically cut the line. They want to jump this. They want to jump ahead. They want to pay to win. They want to know. There's just certain things you can't. There's certain things you cannot just pass through just like that. No, there's certain things you're going to have to put the work in no matter what. Like whether that be music, whether that be fitness, whether that be just your job, you have to put the work in and you have to want the work. When people, as a trainer, people tell me, the amount of people that hit me up saying, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to look different. I want to build muscle. Do this. I want to be a new me. They get into 2 weeks of training and they're stopped. They're done. They can't do it no more. They're too sore. They miss McDonald's. They don't want to fucking eat spinach and chicken and like grilled chicken and protein shakes. They can't stand the chalkiness of a protein bar. Like, I know what protein bar tastes like shit. I've been eating since I was 18. Like, I know they taste like shit. I know they're garbage. But you know what? It's going to be better for you to have that instead of eating a damn 2 spicy chicken nuggets, like 2 spicy chicken nugget meals.
Oh man, they don't want, like you said, they don't want it. They don't want it that bad. Like if they wanted it that bad,
the idea of it. They love the idea of it. That's it. They don't love the actual work of it. When you grow to appreciate the work you put in and the work that it takes to actually get into the shit that you want to get into and to pursue the body you want to pursue or pursue the strength goal you want to pursue, it doesn't come with a cheat code. You need to put the work in no matter what. The work needs to be put in. Every single famous celebrity that always is going to tell you no matter what, you need to fucking put the work in. Like if you don't put the work in, somebody else is putting the work in for you ahead of time and they're going to get that fucking check before you do. When you're not working, somebody else is working. And that's another thing that always picks me up when I'm working overnight on something else. I know for a fact that there's somebody else who's going to want my position. There's somebody else who's going to want something that I got to do that's going to want what I want. I want it first. It's me fucking first. It's me fucking first.
That's the mentality you have to have. I forgot who I was listening to, but I think it was Tyson who said, you know, just as hard, like when he's like getting mentally prepared to fight and people ask, you know, why'd you wake up at crazy hours training? He said, you know, every day I think about this. As hard as I'm working, there's somebody working even harder to take it away from me. Working for what I want, there's somebody working harder to take away from me. So when you have something that you're striving for, I think that's a good mind state to be in. That like, I don't think you should twitch yourself or compare yourself to anybody, but you should always have, you know, that's who we are. That's in our nature. Like we're competitive. We want to have this badly, and we don't want anybody else to take it from us. So when you have that kind of mindset, that grind, there's nothing there's no excuse. Like when you really want something, there's so many excuses that people make to go into McDonald's. Like, oh, listen, it's so close, it's so cheap. How many excuses can you make not to go there, man? Like just as many. Like we rationalize ourselves, man. You don't have to. We rationalize on the things that we want. So if you really want to lose weight, man, just think about. I always have in my mind about how I'm gonna, like, when I put the work in at 100%, what it's gonna feel like. But then there's a time where that kind of dissipates and you just learn to fall in love with the discipline. Like I'm a big person where I feel like motivation has its place, but I think that what's most important is discipline. I think at some point motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. So I think once you fall in love with, you know, eating right, working, you learn to love the work. Like at some point, a person could look at, like, if I didn't know you and I looked at what you did, I think you were insane. Cause I'm like, yo, when does this dude like does he chill out? Like, why is he working so? But you learn to fall in love with work, man. But if you would have stopped everything, right? Like you just let's say you took a month or a week off, you wouldn't. I'm only guessing you wouldn't feel right.
Nah,
like, you're just taking a week.
Nah.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get really antsy just taking 2 days off when I had to recover from my shoulder. When I do heavy shoulder days, I need 2 days for my shoulder to fully recover. And at the end of that second day, I'm doing push-ups just because I can't. My body just can't be doing nothing. Like I put my body through enough stress and endurance that it can't just be doing nothing one day, like for a couple of days in a row.
right.
Like there's
Exactly. You
yeah,
gotta do something.
I brought him up earlier in the podcast, but Nipsey Hussle, another one, God bless the dead. He's somebody that really pushed the fire under me when I was listening to him. Like that's one of the very few artists where before he dropped Victory Lap, he was dropping some serious major blueprints between, I want to say, songs like Mr. Untouchable, Blue Laces, like just stuff like that. He goes through a wide change, and then when it comes to when Victory Lap comes out, that masterful album, that piece that has nothing but just a major education for anybody that wants to start their own business and really pursue it. The message of the marathon continues is the most boldest statement, truest statement for life I think that I could ever say that, or I could ever agree with, because no matter what, people don't understand that this life is not a sprint. This life truly is a marathon, and you got to go at a certain pace. You got to keep yourself at a pace, because if you sprint and burn yourself out, you die out too quick. You got to pace yourself. You pace yourself. You run the marathon, and shit. Nip is another one who did it on his own. He put out his own album, his own master, his own rights, and look at where he ended up now.
Yeah,
like that's somebody. Like I said, God bless the dead. But before he passed away, he was on his way to making more like major moves, like doing songs with Roddy Ricch, doing songs with Big Sean. Like there was so many songs that he was coming out with, so many features that he was going to be on, that you wouldn't have, that you didn't know that what he was going to be on, because he never showed that side of his work. Like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on this feature, that feature, that feature. No, he just showed his hustle, his grind, and his business. Then when later on, when that song stops, then is a different story. Like then you got songs like Higher.
Right.
Like DJ Khaled Higher. Like when that song plays, like you feel like, cause that's one of Nip's last songs. You feel that song a little different.
Yeah.
You feel that song just a little bit more differently, just because knowing that like that man, like who literally is everything that I wanted to be for this community, as far as giving scholarships to kids, opening up my own businesses, buying out a couple blocks, making sure families are eating, making sure that no kid is going hungry, making sure that there are clothing, good shoes on all the kids' feet and all the kids' backs and all the kids' shoes, and like that there's fridges actually filled with food, like real food, not no fucking fake 99-cent shit that is fucking processed and gives cancer. Like real food. Like these are the visions that I had for my community.
Yeah.
Seeing that what Nipsey Hussle was able to do from the age of 25 to 33, I want to get that done by 30. Like he put out the blueprint so beautifully that if nobody takes that action, I feel that a lot of his work just goes to shame, because it's amazing music and it has soul to it, but it's also a blueprint for literally owning your business, owning your masters, owning your rights, owning everything that's yours, and making a major profit off of it. And not only doing that, but also feeding your community. Like those are the things that he taught.
I think
it's home.
In his songs, a lot of and I at first I wasn't big into like Nipsey like that, like when people were like really listening to him, like I want to say around 2017, 18. I was like, I didn't read music like that, but seeing how like after his passing, just delving into like a lot of the songs that he has, I was more in tune like with who he was, like outside of the booth. Like, you know, he was a philanthropist, he was a loving just a lover of his community, because he was a person where a lot of people don't get in that kind of environment. People put you in a box, like either you're gonna end up dead, in jail, or you on the street homeless. So I think that was important that people understood, like his lifestyle wasn't like, okay, when people usually do things like that, like give back to the community and like be positive energy, usually those are the people who haven't really been through anything. Like they haven't really been, outside, so to speak. But Nip was a person where he was living that life.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there doing all these things. Like, don't get it twisted. Like he was like out there riding, but
Yeah,
he
I mean,
realized
he
that
was almost 60. Like he was
bro,
out there really like dipped through and blew all the way out to the way
yup,
to the end.
exactly. But he didn't, like, when he realized that that type of lifestyle didn't bring him anywhere, he didn't totally turn his back, because he realized that that was who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna be like, oh, that wasn't me. That was me when I was younger. No, he realized, he took accountability, saying, listen, yes, I am like I'm a gang member, because that's for life, but I'm not a gang banger. Like
Yeah.
I don't promote that lifestyle. I promote people building and building up your tribe and taking your people with you, rather than burning your community and tearing it down. So that's why I like start when I started listening to him and I started understanding who he was. That in there, like that to me was like, that's what I call leaving your legacy and leaving your mark. Because
And he
like
really did
when you
leave a
feel like, because
legacy.
you don't even feel like he's gone. Like
Nah.
that's how crazy it is. Like you don't feel like he's gone, and that's what I think makes like that's what it's called, like being like making a legacy and being a legend in your own time. When people could listen to your stuff, see you on the TV, like this dude is gone. Like nah, man, I don't really feel
I'm not
like
gonna lie. The night that I heard he passed away, like I bawled out tears, just because like that was not only just like one of my favorite artists, but just like somebody that I idolized, somebody that like I had dreams of like going to a concert and seeing, that I had visions
yeah,
of meeting one day, talking business, and stuff like that. Like learning, I wanted
yeah,
to do an apprenticeship with him to learn his business and learn how he did everything. Like there's stuff like
yeah,
that where I was more interested in learning, and then to hear that, like I was just like, damn, like that was somebody that I actually
way
had
ahead.
a true like idolization for. Like I don't idolize people. I don't idolize
Yeah,
anybody. And that was somebody, because he literally, the stuff that
right.
he talks about, the stuff that he rapped about, the stuff that he the pictures he painted were just
You can read
next
you.
level.
Yeah,
It was stuff that wasn't gonna be played on the radio, but name another artist that wasn't played on the radio prior that has a feature with Diddy, that has a feature with Kendrick on his album.
hey man, yo, is it? And he was a stand-up. Like that's the thing. He wasn't like like a lot of people now. Like they try to force people. Like people want to know how they could get Nipsey on with them, because he was everything he did was from the ground up, and people respected that. He had the respect of like, even if you want like a blood and you were making music like YG,
Yeah,
you
I'm
would
saying,
expect him not.
for
But
example,
it was
why?
the fact that why he was like, but the fact that he stood for something, like he's the perfect definition of standing on standing for something. Like stand on it, speak something and stand on it. Like it doesn't matter what it is. If you're talking about, living, like I said before, living in an upper middle class, stand on that. Like that's who you are. Stand on it. And Nipsey stood on what he believed in, and I think that's what a lot of people miss. Like with music, like you don't have to compromise your integrity. Just stand on something, and people are gonna go. And it took him like years, not decades, if you want to be real, because he's been
Mhm.
starting it since he was like in his like late teens to make something, and then mixtape after mixtape, underground. He remained under. He's one of those people that like were very few artists to
He
start
was
out
the West
underground for a
Coast
long period of time and then
Joel
blow up.
Ortiz. Well, he definitely the West Coast Joel Ortiz. Like how Joel Ortiz is to New York.
Joel, oh, yes,
Like
yes, yes,
yeah, Joel
yes.
Ortiz to New York. I feel like
And
is
that's another
to the
person.
West Coast.
Just you, absolutely, absolutely. A person who started off where and they still appear like you still see them with undercover art, like underground artists. Like you don't really see that because they expect once you blow up, oh, you're supposed to just leave all that behind. But you still see Nipsey. He did a couple of features with a couple of people well known,
Mm-hmm.
weren't really out there like that, got their name out there. And this is at a time where I want to say Nipsey started blowing up maybe in his, like when he was our age.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when he like started really, like when people started knowing who he was. And then from there, like he was still in the same neighborhood. He didn't change. He built a store right there on Crenshaw.
Neighborhood
You know what I'm
Nip.
saying? Like, yo,
There's a reason why he got that nickname, because he
neighborhood.
literally lived by his neighborhood. Like that's somebody that literally lived by his neighborhood.
Yo,
Like he lived by his hood and he lived for his hood.
yo,
Like, that's somebody that you can literally,
yeah.
doesn't matter
He
what
did.
race you are, you can idolize somebody like that just because of what he's done. Like he's the definition of turning your life around to become a Grammy nominated artist for his album. Like
Yeah.
that album
Oh
is
man.
by far, like
Yeah.
it's in my top 3. Like there's I put it my tie for my top 1, to be honest. Like it's between that and 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
So those are my top 2 albums of all time, just because I can listen to
Yeah.
beginning to end nonstop.
Yo.
Like
And
at a mainstream
yeah, there's very few albums that can do that.
it varies, especially
Yeah.
nowadays. Like not to gas you up, but other than your music, like there really hasn't been any other artists that I've really been able to listen to like over the past couple of years, other than maybe recently Kid Cudi. He dropped his album. That was an amazing album for me, just because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah. He
Cudi.
came back.
And
Yeah.
Big Sean's album. That was it. Like the recent album that he dropped, from beginning to end, I was able to listen to, just because it's another classic album.
Mhm.
It has a lot of lessons. It has a lot of stuff that he talks about that's
Yes.
true. That's to him. That's who he is. And I feel like that's more of a gravity that I pull
Yes.
towards, is the reason why I pulled into your music also. As I said, it's true, it's you, and it's actually passionate music that comes from the heart.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's all I want. And at the end of the day, after every song that I make, I want to be able to say, like, there's some songs that I sleep on and I'm like, man, I'm gonna just come back and I'm gonna hit this tomorrow. But every song that I made from start to finish has always been a true reflection of myself. Like, there's no song, and I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but there's not one song that I put out on an album or on an EP that anybody who knows me can listen to and say that's not Fred. Like, that's the kind of person where I you don't have to know me, but you listen to my music, yeah, that's Fred. Yep, he's definitely, and that's all I want. The passion that I put into music, like, that's what I love. I love being able to reach certain people, but in the beginning, it's not even like you have to have a sort of realization in yourself that this is something that I'm making for me. It's my diary. This is what I'm speaking to. You know, a lot of people do it for different reasons, but I think every artist is selfish in a way. You have to be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, you know what, this is gonna be me. You have to, because other than that, if you say, you know what, I'm gonna try to make something for everybody to like, you're gonna compromise a lot of the good sound that you may have. So you got to be selfish. You got to say, this is me. This is how you're gonna take it. It's not like, hey, a lot of people, they may rock with it. A lot of people may not, but that shouldn't be a reflection on whether or not you're a great artist. To me, a good artist is a person who could take themselves and translate it and make it able for me to hear. If I could hear who you are through your music, to me, you're a good artist. If I have to filter through a lot of the stuff that, and then try to find out who you are, like, I should be able to
I have
hear
to
who
look
you
up
are.
the
Listen, put it,
lyrics.
like, close my eyes and look up the lyrics. Like, nah, man, and that's always been me, man. I just like making music where a person can hear it and they get who I am. It's like finding a fossil.
Yeah, because
Like,
you don't
that's
even
what
just hear
when
your
I'm
music, you feel
going.
your music. Like you feel the soul, you feel the energy, and you feel the
Yes.
time and passion that you put into it. Like it's a different kind of feeling where
Yep.
if it's just, say, like a song you do in 15 minutes compared to a song that you do in a matter of a couple hours, because you actually put the work and effort in, and cutting it up and finding the right beat and making sure every word blends in together perfectly fine. Like it's the details like that is what brings in the true, I want to say, mastermind behind, not mastermind, but the creativity, the detailed creativity behind somebody. When you have a true creative detail and you focus on the things that can not only project a major impact in the positive way for not only you, but for yourself and your community as well, is a different different type of energy. It's a different type of success, different type of achievement once it's already there.
Absolutely. Because now you don't really need anybody like when you reach that level, you don't really need anybody to validate you. And that's what I feel like a lot of people haven't reached yet. Like I'm to the point now where I don't need somebody who's from a record label or anything like that to say, yo, your stuff is hot. Like I
know.
feel that coming from like I know like and that's not but that's how you should be. And anything that you do, you should if you don't feel like you're the best person doing it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Like that's what anything artistic wise.
Yeah.
If you're painting something and you're putting it out for people to display, you should feel like, yo, this is the best. This is the best that you're gonna come across. Even though like it's not like of course there are many other like, but you have to have that attitude because then people can sense that energy. If you come up with the attitude where I'm all right,
People are attracted to confidence.
people can sense that. You have to have confidence. And it's not being, cocky, it's not being haughty.
Nah,
it's
the
music. That's the way
confidence and being cocky. There's a difference there between confidence and cocky. If you're a cocky asshole, you're gonna have a short success fame. If you are somebody that's not cocky, but you are understanding of your self-worth, it's a different kind of different energies, different vibe.
Hey, yo, bro, it's glass and diamonds. Like at 100, if I just found the diamond, I'm not gonna underplay like, yeah, man, it's a diamond. It's a no. You want top dollar for this? You want it? I'm gonna need top. And that's where if you don't feel like everything that you make is a diamond, you got some work to do, man. You gotta have some diamonds, and that's what I feel like I'm growing more as an artist to appreciate. Like being okay with saying like, yo, your stuff is it. Like your stuff is it. And it's okay. And that's how you should feel. I'm not gonna listen to and I feel like anybody who's in my bracket of entertainment when it comes to rap and hip hop, everybody should feel like they're making something.
Always
That's the best.
If you don't, then you're not in the industry. You're in the wrong spot if you're not.
Could you imagine if you were a boxer and you went into the ring and somebody asked you, you feel like you're ready, you feel like you beat it? He's like, well, he's a good fighter, so I don't know.
I mean, I think I am. And
I think
you're Nate Robinson.
You have to have, Nate. You get Nate. You're gonna put out on the canvas, man. You have to have confidence and understand that it's okay. Like you have to have that, especially when it comes to because hip hop, same as boxing, it's competitive. You're boxing over a beat. You're boxing over with people who are listening to you, trying to fight for them to listen to you, trying to fight for their approval. And now you're like, you can't come across like you got to take the reins. You got to be in control and say, yo, this is it, and you gonna listen to it. And if you don't, then you're missing out on something great. And I think that's what really that's what's gonna send people. If you are in this field or whatever you're doing, feel like you're the best at it. And then keep going because that's what's going to drive people. That's what's going to approach people because nobody's attracted to mediocrity. Like that's just not us. We're attracted to greatness. We're attracted to things that are top tier, upper echelon. Like if you say we got cookies over here who are humble cookies or okay cookies, then you got the echelon, the great cookies. Like these are the best cookies you ever gonna have. Different marketing, bro. We're attracted to it, so you got to be on that level, man.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not out there, like I'll put an example to myself here, doing this personal training thing, the first 2 years of me doing this, I trained at a very low rate just because I wasn't too sure on what exactly I was doing. I wasn't, and I was still interning at another gym. I was still following a couple of people as far as fitness wise, like following them around, listening to their lectures, listening to how they talk, what to do for their clients. Then once I've officially earned my certifications on my third year and I really started to pursue a deeper part of the industry, which was nutrition, that price goes up. That price goes up way higher because of the value of that training outcomes. Now you got, not only do you just have somebody that learned the shit from the book, but you have somebody now that did this for 2 years being paid at a below minimum wage. 2 years of being paid below minimum wage and a year of consistently studying and training people for free or next to nothing. 3 years total Now you gotta
we gotta raise that.
now you gotta pay the minimum is
You
40
gotta
for
pay.
the hour. And that's still 40 for an hour, bruh.
Yes.
When I tell you right now that there's certain people in this
Now
industry
that
right now.
I'm still giving you.
There's people that are charging.
They won't even talk to you for less than that.
There's people that are giving advice for $40. There's people that will sit down and talk to you for $40.
$40, yo.
You're getting a one-on-one personal training session with literally probably one of the best trainers you got on Long Island.
Yep.
And the fact that you have the audacity to say, $40, I should be charging $120. Like this, with the amount of with the stuff that I have, there's trainers like my boss at Rebel Fitness. Well, I shouldn't say boss because I'm independent contracted. The one who owns the gym I work at. She is an Olympic trainer, and people pay anywhere between $90 to $135 an hour, not a month, not a week, an hour to train with her. And I'm asking for $40.
Knowing your worth, man.
Like I'm asking for $40 because I still know that I'm still young. I'm still coming up in this industry, but I know for a fact that at least the minimum my training is worth is going to be $40.
Is $40, and I think that's the perfect example of knowing your worth and knowing how much like the time. Because listen, I'm not saying like, listen, don't be charging people $80 if you didn't put any work in, and then you just saying, well, I want to get you put in the work. Listen, you got to pay, because now I know what I can bring to the table. I know I can change your life.
That's
now
it, right?
It's just like,
that's
listen,
the key difference between
I could
what you could bring to the table and what you could bring to the table.
Ooh, yes, absolutely. Especially with fitness. Like, I think that's something that people like. You can't pay it. There's not enough money you could pay someone to, change your mindset.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like as far as you like just wanting something, like if you came across somebody who's really like, listen, I could do this for you, but it's gonna cost, but that's so much money. Well, how listen, you see what I did for other people. How much is it worth to you? Like, obviously, listen, and you have the bones to back it up. That takes it back to like confidence. Like, you have the proof to back up your work.
Yeah.
Cockiness, like, listen, I'm just talking what I feel. Confidence is like, listen, this is science. This is math. This is 2 + 2 = 4. That's not. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, I could do this for you. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean, and that's exactly what it is. And then when to bring it back to you, when you hear other artists who are just playing out shit that just they're you can't hear a single thing that's coming out of their mouth. It's literally all the words are blended together. There's no real creative flow. There's no spike in the voice. There's no chorus or anything. It's when you actually put the work in, like you put the work in, and you actually put the time and dedication, you create something like the way you create what you created here. And you created something that is outstanding, that is beautiful, and that literally can serenade with anyone. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter. You can literally sit down and listen to this whole discography of music.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It means a lot, man.
Like I said before, man, I had to have you on here first, just because one, you're not only like one of my oldest friends, but you're also somebody that I look up to, but also, I fuck with the music heavy. So to have all three at the same time is definitely one major accomplishment for myself, just because we were able to pull off almost damn near about a 2-hour interview here, and it didn't even feel like an interview.
2 hours, yeah.
It didn't even feel like no interview. It
just
felt like we're just shooting the shit. It just we're just chopping it up. It just literally just feels like we're just having that vibing talk. And you definitely better be on here more than once. Like, I gotta have you on here at least.
Oh nah, bro. Listen. Listen at the all, like, listen. This is how I know we on some great things, because the fact that we both have like crazy crazy difference getting the fact we were able to collaborate, man.
Yeah.
Just like, because how many
After a couple
times
of
did
tries,
I
like
have to text you
trial and
like,
errors.
yo, man?
Yeah,
He's like,
between me
listen, I
oversleeping
feel like
and
there
the
was
scheduling,
somebody
like,
who didn't want this to happen.
yes.
But like, yeah, no, bro. Listen, there was
Something
somebody
out
didn't want
there,
this to
something
happen,
out
man.
there
How
was
many
saying
times
like
do
that.
you?
Something out there was wishing like,
Like,
man,
nah,
if
man,
those two get together,
nah,
it's gonna
we
be a
can't.
problem. You can't
Man, it's gonna be a,
let
it's
do
gonna be
it.
a problem. But we,
Hey,
we here,
we here.
man.
We're a problem. We're here and we're a problem for y'all. But we're also here for your solutions.
That's it.
But yeah, dude. On that note, I
Funny.
do have to get out of here, though. But bro, when I tell you that I appreciate this conversation,
Oh, yeah,
like also being able to know firsthand your
Right.
mentality behind certain songs that I've been listening to overnight while I'm, around the gym. Being able to really hearing you
Yeah.
break down what exactly each song that I had a question about meant, or even just the album itself, it definitely is going to build a deeper connection with the music, but also it just makes me love it more. It's just like the idea behind everything you talked about today. It was just, damn, I got a more deeper appreciation for my boy's music now.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. And like I said, anytime, man, we're able to come together. I definitely want to get you on a few projects coming up, man. So we
Yeah,
definitely got some good stuff
I'm
in the
always
works
down,
for the
bro. I'm
people,
always
man.
down. I can always, the benefit of being a trainer is that I can always work around people's schedule. I can always move a client here, move a client there, and make sure I can get a block of time spaced out, and still make sure I get sleep. Like that's time management. Like time management,
That's
time
it.
management, time management. You find the right time management, you can get this shit done no matter time. Any messages you want to leave with the people? Anything you want to say out there? Any again positive
Oh
messages?
man.
We're in a crazy time right now, so some positivity could probably help out.
Listen, man, all I want to say is just listen, it's okay. I heard this once before, like, yo, it's okay not being okay. Drop this whole I'm a lone wolf without, like, I'm gonna just stay, like, listen, it's okay to be around people, be around positive energy, man, because that's the way that we work. We are positive. We're born wanting to be around good things. So put yourself in a position where there's nothing but good things around you, man. Not everything requires your energy. Be okay with walking away.
Mm-hmm.
Time
Mm-hmm.
now where you have to a lot of stuff, man. Turn off your phone, go outside, walk around, bro. The world is a lot bigger than Instagram and Facebook. Go outside. That's all I gotta say, man. Just go take a deep breath, appreciate the graphics outside.
And real quick, let the people know where they can find you at. Like all the hot music that you've been dropping.
Oh man, you can find oh you can find really, man, on all streaming platforms, just type in Fred L, that's EL, short for Enlightened Lyricist. You can find me on Spotify,
Wait a
iTunes,
minute,
Apple
wait a minute.
Music.
That's what the fuck the L is
Wait,
for? That's what the L is?
all right, so that's another one of the
Damn.
triple entendres that I was telling you about. So it means enlightened lyric, but it also means because that's my last name is Lewis, and this is
Yeah,
it's just a whole
originally
concept.
that's why I
So
thought it was Fred L
that's
because of the Lewis part,
that's
but
what it
then now
means.
you just and like, damn. I'm starting to catch that. Holy shit! And like, wow. Wow.
Nah, man. See, this is what I'm talking.
Okay,
This
yeah,
is,
now
hey,
y'all learned something new that I just did. Wow.
like lyricist, man. But yeah, man. And I'm on all streaming platforms. Just type in Fred L. Hopefully, you be able to pick something out that you like. And if you don't rock with it, I appreciate you for checking me out anyway, man. But just keep the positive energy. I respect anybody who respects the fact that you are entitled to your own opinion. That's
Damn,
all I gotta say.
you know damn well they're gonna love this
Give
music.
it.
You know damn well they're gonna love that music. I don't want to hear that. You know damn well everyone's gonna love this. But brother, man, on a serious note, like I remember when we on
Oh my
graduation day,
boy.
we linked up, we took a picture on and talked about some future projects called Young and Motivated and all that stuff. A Young and Motivated project turned into this now. This is that whole wave of just the past 6 years of just grinding, of learning lessons, taking something from here, putting it over there, back over here. It's just trial and error over the past 6 years, and I really do feel like everything is starting to come together. That and in the way that the man upstairs is really planning for it.
Hey man, And that's another thing, man. Like just seeing you take off the way you did. Like you're not only like you talked, but you also had like you backed it up, and that's what I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like you had this in the making for like years, and to see it come into fruition, and the fact that I had a place in like the first part, man. Yo, I'm elated, man. I'm elated.
Of course,
like I said, any other time you want to link up,
man.
Bro.
You were the first one I talked about some of these ideas with. So you know damn well that I had to get not only like one of my favorite artists on here, but just my boy and the fucking first person I ever talked about business with.
Anytime you want to chop it up, man. Like, listen, this has been fun. It didn't even feel like an interview, man. Like
it didn't even feel like 2 hours went by. It
really
feels like we just started, and now I gotta start getting ready to go into this damn job overnight now. Like now, it just is like shit. Like 2 hours right by.
You see, it's like time flies, man, when you're just having fun, man. Anytime you want to do it again, man, I'm down. I'm down.
You know, same thing here, man. I'm always gonna be down for these kind of conversations. And hopefully soon, when all this COVID stuff is all over, we can do this in person and we can really chop it up and have a real good conversation.
Say less, man. I'm there. You already know.
All right, brother, man. Yo, thank you. I cannot appreciate you enough for coming on here. I cannot appreciate enough for also you sharing your stories, sharing your details. You know, one last thing, you know, you really are coming into your own, and I couldn't be more proud of you. Like just seeing from the distance, and you know, we haven't really hung out in a long time. But damn, do I remember being on top of Pilgrim State with those days, paying the bills, like those days. Like, and now to see like where we're at now, 7 years. Oh shit, that's 7 years. I thought about to be 7 years ago, bro. Damn. All right, man.
Man.
I'm just happy to get that we're officially on the roll now, and I'm happy to see that you're happy on the music wave. You know, you're grinding and succeeding.
Appreciate that, man. Likewise, man.
You have a great night, and I'm definitely as soon as I can get this back on again, as soon as I can get you back on here again, ASAP, because I know that there's still more shit that we can talk about.
Just let me know, man.
You know, I got you, dude. Probably the
100%.
Probably next week or two. I got you.
Hey, bro, let's do it again. I'm ready.
Send me out your block of time, and we'll definitely set something up, bro.
100%, man. 100.
All right, bro. Yo, God bless you. Have a great night, okay?
All right, man. You do the same.